Welcome back to Killer Fun, where we explore the intersection of crime and entertainment every other week. I'm Christy.
And I'm Jackie.
And we're so glad that you're back with us today for our live episode right here, Bonus Live.
Our first live bonus episode.
Super fun.
I'm
Really
excited.
Yeah, me too.
Jinx, you owe me a soda. Except she gave me coffee because she does love me.
Because I do, and I'm a little nervous about not being able to take out my spaces and and
You're gonna see how many rabbit trails I actually go down that she has to edit out because it's way too much.
Yeah, but it's so much fun. We have such a good time, and it's this,
We
get the full experience tonight.
Yes, it's coffee and crime tonight,
That's
baby.
right.
Swoop! Cheers.
Yes.
Oh, man. So tonight we kind of have a game plan, right?
A little bit, yeah.
A little bit. And it all started with this crazy nutso story I found. And then I decided to message you and say, oh my gosh, we have to do this live. I don't know what compelled me about a man hiding a dead body in his luggage and then going to visit family with this luggage and then not opening the luggage and instead borrowing their shampoo and their clothes and everything else until the family was like, his luggage stinks, and finally calls the police. And there's a dismembered body spread across this 2 pieces of luggage. And I went, ooh, we should go live and talk about this.
This is the most disgusting thing I've ever seen.
I love it.
Tell me more.
It's really just the grown-up version of when we were kids. Ooh, this stinks. Smell it.
Yeah.
That's all.
My father-in-law, this is funny. Speaking of things that stink and smelling them. They lived in Florida for a while, and we went to go visit them. And my father-in-law was like, something smells. We're driving down the road in a rented minivan because we were all together and they didn't have a car big enough for all of us together, the whole family that was there.
Right, with kids and everything else.
Yeah. Well, it wasn't even with kids. We didn't even have children at this time.
Okay, so it's just
So
the
we're
4 of
driving
you.
down the route. No, it was 6 of us because my sister-in-law and her.
I'm tracking.
I don't know that we were married yet. I don't quite remember. Anyway, he says, something smells. And my mother-in-law says, Ralph, I think it's your shoes. And he says, no, it can't be. And she said, smell them. So he took them off, and he did not just take a gentle whiff.
He was confident.
He stuck his entire sizable schnoz into this water shoe and went and about gagged, rolled the window down, threw his shoes out the window while we were driving. I'm like, a question answered. I've always wondered why there are single shoes in the middle of a road.
Because they stunk and somebody took a sizable sniff.
Threw them out the window.
That is so funny. When you started that story, I actually thought, well, Florida.
I have a Florida man story for us tonight.
I'm so glad. Mm-hmm. That's really funny. So if we see a random shoe, we know why.
Yeah. You know a possible reason why.
A possible reason why.
I'm sure there's a lot of reasons how people lose their shoes.
Sure, there's a lot of reasons I want to know.
Yeah. Amen to that.
TMI, people, TMI. Oh, we've got some stories. All right, so I told you my luggage story, and that was Chicago. He had traveled to Chicago, and that's what kicked us all off. But I know you pulled some really awesome stuff, so hit me. Hit me with some stuff.
All right, so this actually happened over 4th of July weekend.
Okay.
And in California. But I didn't hear about it until this week because the kid involved did a story with People magazine.
Oh.
Yeah, he was on a trip with his dad, and they were in the forest somewhere, driving through, doing, I don't know, camping, hiking stuff. Mm-hmm. I'm not exactly sure. And they stopped and asked a guy for directions, and the guy that they asked for directions was disturbed in some way and shot the father several times.
Oh my gosh.
And the boy ran out of the car because he was afraid he was also going to be shot.
Fair.
Ran into the woods as far as he could, and then realized my cell phone's almost dead. and there's probably not good service out here. So he called his mom and told her he was lost in the forest and Dad was shot.
Oh, can you imagine getting this phone call?
And then his phone died.
Oh my gosh.
And I guess she called, or his phone almost died. They got off the phone. She called police. They told him to wait for a helicopter. Mm-hmm. And so as over the next 30 hours before he was found, he would fall asleep somewhere and dream of helicopters. And every time he got in the helicopter, he'd wake up and he was sad and then hit with his father's death all over again. And so they did catch the shooter, but
Good.
The dad did die.
Oh.
And the mom has been undergoing chemotherapy for cancer.
My gosh, this guy's life. Oh my gosh. How horrible.
It was horrible.
Crazy.
They get more lighthearted from here.
Well, I hope so. Well, we've done dismembered bodies and then the beginning of a Criminal Minds episode. Wow. Oh, that's so sad. Wow. That kid, super brave though.
Yeah, to run.
Like our hats off to him because he runs and then he's able to survive in the forest and not get so lost he can't be found and make the one very smart call. That's really brave.
Well, I mean, you're 15. Who are you going to call? You're going to call your mom.
But he gets out all the information necessary before the phone call dies. He doesn't just sob or, I mean, have you had a conversation with your 15-year-old recently about anything having to do with Google Classroom? At this point, I'm not sure I would get any pertinent information. So this kid is really brave.
He was really, really on it. That's true because it does take my now 16-year-old.
That's right.
I know.
Okay.
That's exactly how I feel about it.
Yeah.
It takes him a long time to get a story out.
Yeah. My 14-year-old, if it has to do with technology, it is so hard to get the pertinent information first so that I can help. Yes.
They're trying. They're getting there.
Maybe.
Maybe.
Maybe that was part of a discussion we had earlier today. But you know what? That's parenting. Every conversation is about parenting. It's about the thing and it's about teaching something. Every conversation. There's not a conversation you have with your kid that's not. So even though I'm talking to him about getting his homework done and his tech stuff and whatever, I'm also having a conversation teaching him how to communicate with things and take integrity and ownership over his own problems. There is no conversation that is not layered. I think that's why moms are tired.
Well, that's one of the reasons moms are tired. Moms are tired for a lot of reasons, let's be honest.
It's fair.
It's emotional labor.
Maybe that's it. Ding, ding, ding. Oh, my gosh. All right. What else you got? Lighten it up.
Are you have any interest in moving to Fall River, Massachusetts?
I used to live in Massachusetts.
Oh.
I used to live in Weymouth, Massachusetts. So I would like to know something about it.
Okay. Do you know what happened in Fall River, Massachusetts?
No.
Lizzie Borden and her family happened in Fall River, Massachusetts.
Oh, really?
Yes.
I didn't know that.
So a home, not the home, but a home that she lived in that city is for sale.
Oh.
The home where her parents were hacked to death with an axe.
With an axe.
We all know this from the Jump Rope song.
Yes, we do.
Yes. Is a bed and breakfast that you can stay at. And the people who owned that house also owned the house that she moved into after she was acquitted. She moved into this other house with her sister. Also quite large. She moved into that house. They bought it, renovated it. We're going to turn it into another bed and breakfast.
Okay.
And then the city asked her to do a bunch of other stuff to it. Mm-hmm. And
like they do.
Yeah, like they do. And they said it just wasn't financially feasible to do that. So you can buy the 7-bedroom home fully furnished.
Oh.
For $890,000.
That's not bad.
I was going to say, that seems, it's a lot of money.
It's a lot of money, but I will tell you that my small-ish house, which was a 3-bedroom, 2-bath, and it was very, very, very old. 1868 is when it was built, and it was like a Lego house. I like added this on and added that on and everything. Okay, and it was over 400.
Wow.
Yeah, which was pretty common for the area in the South Shore. So actually, that's really not bad.
Yeah. Oh, 7 bedrooms. We could probably make do with 7 bedrooms.
Let's click them off. Studio for podcasting. Studio for music.
Okay.
Office for all the work we have to do.
Okay.
What else?
Okay. But then you and I need places to sleep.
Okay.
And I guess we'll bring our husband and children.
Well, the husbands can sleep with us, so then we need 4 more bedrooms. So what is that?
That's
1, 2...
7. Oh, no, it's not. It's 8.
We have to get rid of one.
Maybe the podcast studio can double as the music
studio.
Because we won't be doing both at the same time.
Fair. All right, let's do it. I love it. We can go.
All right. All right.
Okay, I have a local one that I have to bring up. Yeah. Because there was a fight that broke out at a Southside Popeyes.
Oh, no.
And there's a video.
Was it over sandwiches?
Well, I don't really know, but yes. Because this is the quote. I'm not really sure what happened. But the lady and the employee were yelling at each other, and the cashier just started throwing trays.
That is somebody who is over the people not wearing their masks properly in the store. I am done. I told you had to put the mask over your nose and your mouth, or I'm not going to serve you. And they just start throwing trays.
I mean, this is crazy. She said, so the person who's in the interview here says that she saw the employee throw a serving tray first and also throw what appeared to be a tea. And apparently then it broke out into a full-on like throw down with trays and fist fight. And and so there's a video of it and it went viral.
Yeah, I'm gonna need that. Yes, I'm gonna need that to share on social media.
You can definitely have it.
You can find us on Facebook, which if you're here live, that's probably how you found us. Killer Fun Podcast exploring the intersection of crime and entertainment. You can find us on Twitter at Killer Fun Pod, or you can send me an email, killerfunpodcast@gmail.com.
Yes.
Hey, I got one in.
You got one
I don't always remember at the early part.
That's true. Sometimes we have to kind of go, oh, yeah.
And I have stickers still. So
we have more stickers?
I still have stickers.
People need their stickers.
So if you need stickers,
okay,
direct message me. Don't put your address publicly.
Please don't do that.
Please don't.
We will delete it if we see that. We will copy it and then delete it.
That's right. But still don't do it.
Don't do it.
It's way easier to just send me an email or a direct message.
Yes, absolutely. Yeah. Get your sticker and be cool like us.
All right. So Florida man.
Okay. I can't wait.
So Florida man was hanging around outside of the Anastasia Cat Clinic last week. And he was kind of walking around looking at stuff. He walked over and looked at a box that was on their porch. And then he left, and then he came back, and they got him on video taking the box. Would you like to hazard a guess as to what was in the box?
I mean, was it a dead cat?
No, it was not.
Oh, no.
It was 4 vials of cat blood.
He took the cat blood?
Yes. Here's the most baffling thing, which is weird but veterinarians, they might think there's like drugs or something in it. So that's probably why they took it. But the cat blood is valued at $600 for 4 vials of blood.
Wait. I don't understand.
I don't understand either. Maybe they were being tested or had been tested for something. But I don't know how 4 vials... I mean, I love cats. Cats are cheap.
Too. But four vials of blood, I mean...
That's like $150 a vial.
Is this like a valuation for like the general sale or for a niche market of individuals who may need... The look on your face as all of that kind of fell into place.
I mean, there's a lot of things that I'm thinking people might do with cat blood, and I'm like,
Yeah.
none of them are good.
None of them.
Not one.
There is no good thing you can do with that, but there are lots of very particular.
I'm sure it's got to be like medical something that needed to be tested or whatever. I'm sure that's where the value comes in, but I'm baffled.
Well, that is an interesting Florida man situation.
There you go. Florida man strikes again.
Oh my gosh. Okay, so what else you got?
Okay. Have you ever wanted to take a nap at work?
Always.
Yeah, like all the time.
Yeah.
Well, 3 railroad workers in New York figured out a way. Because they found an abandoned room underneath Grand Central Station and made themselves a man cave.
No. Okay, but that's kind of cool.
A futon and a flat screen TV.
Oh my gosh, that is. I don't know how I'm supposed to feel, but I'm very, very excited about it. That's kind of awesome. They made their own little break room.
Yes. So it was a wireman, a carpenter foreman, and an electrical foreman. And they're being investigated. Here's the thing. Somebody told MTA, Metro Transit Authority, I think is what it is, about this in February of 2019. And
they just kind of let it go on.
Or I think they had maybe a hard time catching them or something. They said there were people down there getting drunk, so they were taking more than a nap. It was not.
Well, how can you not have beer in that situation, right? I feel like that's kind of the next logical step is flat screen, futon, beer.
Yeah.
That's hysterical. I'm really excited about that.
And the railroad officials said the biggest problem with it, other than it like not being...
I mean, other than it not being... Yeah, right.
Right. Was that it was a fire hazard because it was an unmapped room and rescue workers wouldn't have known to come and find
But that's
them.
exactly what makes it cool. Am I right? Am I right? That is exactly what makes it amazing. That it's an unmapped room? How cool!
That makes me think it's sort of like New York's catacombs.
Yes, it is.
The subway, it's like New York's catacombs. There's rooms, you don't know where they are. They can't find them. They're burying dead bodies down there because the mob needs a place to put stuff.
Yeah. No, that is exactly what it is, and it's really awesome.
It's really
cool.
I'm
really excited about that.
Oh, someday, if there's going to be like 100 years from now, people are going to dive down there because it'll all be underwater.
Oh! So we're saying Day After Tomorrow is the true prediction.
That movie.
Do you love that movie?
I love that. That's one of. Oh, really? See, that was one of those movies that would come on cable or just on TV somewhere.
Oh well,
and I'd be I watch it with what's his name, the cute guy who stars in it.
I have to admit. Oh, what is his name?
I can see his face.
Oh, I can't remember. Anyways, but I know what you're talking about because I would often watch it too, if it comes on. But I have issues with it. It's just
suspend your disbelief situation.
No, I mean, it could have been as good as like Independence Day, but it just like wasn't. And I don't know if it's because there's just not that certain Will Smith charm infused where you have, I just don't think the chemistry of the characters was that entertaining as it should be. It's not the story. I mean, but I feel like it's just so close to being epic.
Oh, I enjoyed it.
Does that make sense? I don't know.
And then here's the last one I have.
Okay.
So, Harvard student.
Uh-oh.
Do you know about the Ig Nobels?
No. I'm trying to think. No.
No. Okay, well, the only reason you might possibly need to know about it is because these are awards that they provide to scientists, and they usually have a live event at Harvard University.
Okay. I feel like I should know about this then.
They don't have it this year because...
Well, yeah.
Yeah, because... Yeah. They're spoof prizes for dubious but humorous scientific achievement.
Oh, how fun. Please, let's go through this list. Yes.
Yes, and they're... One of the main supporters is the Annals of Improbable Research magazine.
Yeah.
So, one person was awarded it because he had heard the story of an Inuit man in Canada who froze his own excrement and then made a knife out of it. And he wanted to know if it was possible. So they froze poop to negative 50 centigrade and filed it into a knife. Pew. And no, the knives didn't work. They failed miserably.
Well, they froze them first.
They froze it and then cut it into a knife.
Yeah.
And then the whole point of the story was that this guy used his own frozen poop knife.
Yeah.
To do whatever.
Well, he lived where? The original guy.
Yeah, in Canada, northern Canada.
See, it stayed frozen.
But they froze it to negative 50.
Yeah.
And did this, and it still didn't work.
And it still didn't work.
Yeah, it breaks. It's brittle.
It's brittle.
Yeah.
That reminds me of a Mythbusters episode where they, the term polishing a turd.
Yeah. Yes.
Right? Well, they did it on Mythbusters, and they polished a turd, and it was very, very funny. And that's what that made me think of. I'm like, well, you may not be able to make a knife, but you can make something that would resemble a Fabergé egg. Like,
really?
It's very weird. Yes, it's very interesting.
That's disgusting.
Yes,
Yeah.
yes.
So, but they really were doing it just to illustrate a point.
Yeah.
That, there's a lot of stories about unproven science. Let's see. The other guy, Richard Vedder won an Ig Nobel for...
It's a funny name.
For his paper, Arachnophobic Entomologists, Why Do Two Legs Make All the Difference? Because he found that people who study insects seem to have a disproportionate fear or dislike of spiders.
Ugh!
I knew that one would get you.
This is for real, people! Spiders are evil! Oh, I hate spiders!
And then the final one that they gave out was medical education, and it is shared by a group of world leaders: Donald Trump, British Prime Minister Boris Johnson, and Russian President Vladimir Putin, because they all seem to think that they have better judgment than scientific professionals who've been studying pandemics their entire lives.
Yes, they do think that.
They refused to appear.
Of course.
For for sharing.
That is so ridiculous.
Yeah.
I can't even.
And the last one was for the guy who made the psychiatric diagnosis, Damien Denny's, of misophonia, which is when people who can't stand the sound of chewing.
Right.
Yeah. And it's really, lots of people will say that they have this.
This is a very Facebook phenomenon right here.
It is, but really you're only, quote unquote, suffering from it if it makes you want to commit homicide. Yeah. That's it. They're like, you just don't like it. You don't really have the disease.
I'm trying to process that. If you really have it,
it makes you literally want to kill the people who are making the mouth sounds.
Wow.
Yeah. So it's a little more severe.
That's a little bit more. Well, it's like when people say they have OCD just because they like a pictures to be straight. And I'm like, not the same thing.
No, it's different.
Not the same thing.
It's different. So they have a tradition at that the Ig Nobels of having actual Nobel Prize winners hand out the awards.
Oh,
and
that's
of course,
good.
yeah, they couldn't do that this year. So they sent everyone, Nobel Prize winners and Ig Nobel Prize winners, their own paper trophy that they had to assemble themselves. And then they did a little video trickery where, the Nobel Prize winner hands it out the right side of the screen. And
and then they take it.
And then they take
that's
it.
funny.
Yeah.
Oh, I wish they could have had that in person, but that's funny. There's a lot of weird science out there. And some of the best things we know come from people not getting it right or just randomly deciding, let me study this strange phenomena, And spiders are legitimately evil. Just kidding. Oh, my God. Okay, so my idea with this whole thing was that I was going to scour the news. Like, you came up with some articles, and I was going to be like, what's on the news app today?
Yeah.
That's weird,
Yeah,
right?
yeah.
So I've been kind of, gently scrolling as we chat, and I think I'm ready with a few that I've seen that were, posted recently and today.
Yes.
This is about to get strange.
Oh, goody.
And a little icky.
Oh,
How
ickier than poop knives?
We're gonna pause for just a second. Do 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 do. Can I say that? Do,
oh
do,
yeah.
Do. Okay,
here
we go. I just had to confirm. All right, Vietnamese. Sorry.
This is how good it is.
It's really funny. Vietnam police sees more than 320,000 used condoms that were resold.
Oh!
By washing them and reshaping them.
Oh!
And then repackaging them.
No. That's...
Condoms, Rose. Condoms.
I mean...
It's very funny. Wow.
We know better.
That's an interesting crime.
I mean, I'm all for recycling.
This is reusing, and I feel like...
Yeah, that's different. That's one of those things that does not fall into the reduce, reuse, recycle.
No, it's done. It's done. And you know what the last line of this article is? It's very, very funny. It is unclear how many such condoms have already been resold on the market.
Oh.
They only got 320,000. And they don't know how many were out there.
Oh my gosh.
What the what?
There's going to be a baby boom.
Oh my gosh. Okay, so I'm still scrolling because, sometimes you go through the news app and it's like, what? Wait, what? And it's very funny. Mm-hmm. Since we've talked about doing this, some serious stuff has happened. So the news app is a little bit more,
Yeah.
Except for the random condom story. It's been a little less funny today than it has been on other days, I have to say. I mean, it's even taken me a long time to get to my cats.
Well, all of the stories that I had were today or within the past 2 days because I did a search on Associated Press.
Oh, see, and that's smart.
I was like, what are their weird news stories?
Oh, my gosh. And usually there's a lot more on the news app. But I have to tell you, it's been kind of stressfully lately.
It's very Debbie Downer.
Yeah,
for sure.
It's not happy. I mean, most of the stuff I want to laugh at is under the politics section, but I don't want to be like...
We're not going to
go there.
We're not going to bring that up.
Yeah. Although, I think what was really funny from this week is how Russia claimed a planet. They claimed Venus.
What?
So
I didn't hear about this.
We have been working with Russia on some, interstellar sort of situations.
Okay.
Starting with planets here and, whatever. There's lots of stuff going on with NASA and with the Russian, cosmonauts and all that. Okay, so basically stuff went down, and so Putin basically claimed Venus and said it is a Russian planet. My first thought was, well, do you have a flag? In that case, the moon is ours. We're claiming planets now, people? Like, what?
Okay. But,
yeah,
what,
funny.
What does he want to do with it? It's
mean,
not survivable, habitable for humanity.
I mean, I don't know. I don't know.
I don't know.
But I mean, it seems like planets are like free, right? Because they're just out there and nobody can actually prove they own it because nobody actually can land there. It's the most existential Cold War threat ever.
It's like he bought a star.
Yes. This is, really.
You don't own the star for $40.
You don't own it. But it's cute. I don't know. He claimed the planet. It was very, very strange. And so the other thing that was strange that I have to say that my son sent me earlier in the week, because today is not a fun day on the news app, is that, you know that the tropical storm Paulette, okay, it has reemerged. And
what?
So they're...
I didn't think they did that.
They don't. And now we have a new 2020 term called the zombie tropical storm.
Yes.
The zombie storm. The National Weather Service had to post this on Twitter because 2020, we now have zombie tropical storms. Welcome back to the land of the living, tropical storm Paulette. You can track the progress and see how it hit land, dissipated, but the system stayed together and then reformed. Same storm, reformed.
I guess that helps them not run out of names.
I guess. We're at beta, so we're there. I don't know. And I guess I will say one... Can I say one political thing? Not saying one way or the other, but I just thought it was funny. Okay, so Joe Biden has a commercial out now where the entire commercial is just one quote of President Trump's campaign speech.
Okay.
And I'm just gonna hold on.
Never speak to you again. You'll never see me.
Wait, are we ready?
If I lose to him, I don't know what I'm gonna do. I will never speak to you again. You'll never see me.
I'm Joe Biden, and I approve this message.
I was like, hats off to their people, because that was the wittiest commercial I've ever seen. It's literally less than 15 seconds long. And all they did was take a section and then I'm Joe Biden and I approve this message. And I lost it. And I thought that is funny. I don't care who you are.
Yeah.
The quote, Jocks. Who said that? Jeff Foxworthy? That's funny. I don't care who you are.
I don't know.
Some comedian. I don't care who you are. That's funny. If that's not Jeff Foxworthy, you have to comment and tell us who that is, because I don't remember who that was. I feel it's some redneck comedian.
That makes
Because I vividly have this memory of that's funny. I don't care who you are.
Okay.
Does that sound familiar?
Not really, but I didn't watch a lot of Jeff Foxworthy.
I don't know who that is. Y'all have to tell me who it is.
I've totally gotten into the comedians lately, though, on Netflix,
Yeah.
only because, if they have political humor, it's from 2-3 years ago, and you'd be like, oh, that's cute.
Yeah, right.
You had no idea what 2020 had in store for us.
Well,
No
okay.
idea.
Another thing, did you know? And again, my son told me about this. I should have him searching the news app. His news feed is way funnier than mine. But did you know that the Mayans, who predicted the end of the world in 2012, do you know what I'm about to say?
I think so.
Okay, so they had worked on a 10-month calendar. So that means they lost 8 years.
Yeah, 2021. They inverted the
2020.
numbers.
No. They worked on a 10-month calendar. So if you do their calendar by a 12-month, it's actually supposed to be 2020.
Oh, that explains a lot.
You're crying and I'm snorting. Oh, gosh. Yeah, that's what we were talking about this at dinner.
Wow.
So I didn't know about this. But apparently they lost the time because of their 10-month to 12-month conversion. Wow. And so it should be that the Mayans predicted the end of the world in 2020. Okay, so.
It really explains a lot. Okay.
Yep, that's where we're at. All you can do is laugh.
Oh, that is all.
I'm Jackie and I approve this message.
All right. Well, I think that's it.
What else can we talk about? Oh my gosh. Okay. That was fun though. I really enjoy going live.
You know what? I really enjoy not editing.
What? That is so true. That is so true. Well, I hope everybody else really enjoyed it. And if you listened live, we're so excited that you did that. And if you're listening on a replay, because it's going to post, go ahead and let us know what you think of the live format. Yeah. Because this is our first time. We did like a Facebook Live one time where it was like
on
more
our
of a
first anniversary.
Yes. And it was more of like a behind the scenes look. We didn't really just post it as the pod. But if you really enjoyed that, let us know what you think of the live format, and then let us know whatever weird news stories are populating your news feed, and hopefully it's more fun than mine.
Yep. Thanks for listening, and remember, be kind, be safe, and wash your hands.
We'll see you next time. Ba, 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 ba. Da, da, da.